This is Huimin Road in Shanghai. It used to be very lively here, but now it is deserted and the streets are empty. A netizen said, "When I went to Shanghai 10 years ago, there were a lot of people, and I had to queue up to cross the road. Now it is really a world of difference I really don't understand. There are very few people in the village, but I didn't expect that there would be so few people in Shanghai. Where did everyone go? Guess what kind of shopping mall this is? There is no one. Except for a few restaurants, it is almost empty. It is so deserted." Recently, on Chinese social platforms, netizens have pointed out that the number of people in shopping malls and on the streets has obviously decreased. It is deserted everywhere. Only in hospitals are there a lot of people, and many crematoriums are crowded. Some netizens said they felt that many people around them had died, including many young people. A new wave of epidemics broke out in many places around the Chinese New Year, and many people's families were infected. The CCP media and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention claim that we are still in the seasonal influenza epidemic period. However, many people believe that this is the result of a new wave of coronavirus outbreaks. Mr. Sun, a Beijing resident, told overseas Chinese media, "The epidemic has been quite serious recently, with many people catching colds. There are still quite a lot of people wearing masks around. The symptoms include coughing, and recovery is slow. Some people say it is the new coronavirus. One of my classmates died of cardiac arrest without any underlying disease. We suspect it is related to the virus. My mother-in-law also died recently." Mr. Zhang, a resident of Baoding, Hebei, said, "The symptoms of a cold now are the same as those after testing positive during the epidemic. When we caught a cold in the past, we had a headache, a slight fever, or a runny nose. Now it's not like that, just body aches. My grandmother just recovered from a cold. But many people died when their colds turned into pneumonia, and the funeral home is very busy now." Dr. Zhang Liang from Jiangsu revealed that many people in their 30s and 40s are now dying suddenly from heart and cerebral infarctions. In fact, this situation has become very common since the outbreak. These individuals are usually in good health, have no underlying diseases, and are strong. The ones we contacted did not have very tiring jobs and were all employees of government agencies and institutions. Zhang Liang said that young and middle-aged people died without warning. Generally, patients with heart problems die very quickly. We receive many such patients, like someone who felt unwell in the hospital lobby, went to the emergency room, and died within a few minutes because heart problems are difficult to control. Because the population base in China is relatively large, even if tens of thousands of people die in a city every year, it does not attract much attention. A set of mortality data for different age groups in China shows that the mortality rates for post-80s and post-90s generations are 5.2% and 3%, respectively. Let's take a look at the current situation of China's largest hospitals. Many people think that the largest hospital in China should be in Shanghai or Beijing, but in fact it is in Zhengzhou. The first affiliated hospital of Zhengzhou University is not only the largest hospital in China, but also claims to be the largest hospital in Asia. From the following 3 data points, we can see why it is called the largest. Its daily turnover exceeds 60 million yuan, the number of beds exceeds 10,000, and the number of patients received per day exceeds 40,000. Even such a large hospital is now overcrowded. You will find that some people give everything just to stay alive. If you feel that life is very hard and exhausting, visit a hospital. Only in the hospital can you truly experience the sufferings of the world, feel the cruelty of reality, the warmth and coldness of human interactions, and the impermanence of life. You will realize that living a healthy life is more important than anything else. May there be no suffering in the world, and may everyone find happiness. Blogger strive to become excellent, took his daughter, Rui, to the hospital for treatment. Recently, he posted a video and wrote, The hospital is full of human suffering. The ward is filled with tears and sadness, and the billing list is full of helplessness and panic. Our local hospital clearly has far more patients than before. I spent all my time waiting in line, and my ears were buzzing. I felt like I couldn't hear anything. Facing such an environment for a long time and feeling sorry for my baby, I can only try to adjust my mindset and stay strong. Ajun, a blogger from Pingyang County, Wenzhou City, Zhejiang Province, recently took his mother to the hospital for treatment. The video he posted showed that even at midnight, many people were still waiting in line for emergency treatment. He wrote, "There were 20 people waiting in line for emergency treatment in the emergency department, and only one doctor was treating them. The hospital also had to assess the situation on-site and handle cases urgently." A netizen from Qingdao, Shandong, said that the crematorium worked overtime during the Chinese New Year. She went to attend the 100th day memorial of her mother's passing, but there were so many people that she couldn't even get inside. Mainland media commentator Zheng Jieming said that the cremation queues seen in many places during the 3 years of the pandemic have reappeared since the end of last year. He mentioned that the cost of cremation has risen sharply. Now, many provinces have turned a blind eye to burials because the epidemic is severe and there are not enough cremators. I received a message that all statistical data from domestic funeral homes and crematoriums are strictly prohibited from being disclosed. Otherwise, they will be vetoed. If an employee leaks information, they will be fired, and if it is a leader, they will be dismissed on the spot. This strict order has now been issued, and the number of cremated bodies must be kept strictly confidential. The funeral home is completely blocked by cars. Everywhere you look, there are vehicles, all for burials. In recent years, experts from prestigious universities, senior administrative officials, corporate executives, young and middle-aged police officers, and many others have passed away due to illness. Many of them have been posthumously recognized as outstanding party members. I am at the Jiazui World Financial Center on Shanghai Road. At noon, the entire street is empty. Where are the white-collar workers? Where are the beautiful women? This is the headquarters of all major banks, as well as various securities and financial center buildings. There should be many white-collar workers here. Where have they all gone? After walking around, I couldn't even find a restaurant or a food court. I can't even find a place to eat. Is this still Shanghai, which generates more than 5 trillion yuan in GDP annually? It's really strange. Where are the people? There aren't even as many people here as in my hometown. Such a big supermarket, yet not even a shadow of a person. Where did everyone go? Hello everyone, I am Ming from Guangdong. I am now in a supermarket in Tianhe District, Guangzhou. This supermarket used to be very famous in our community. I still remember that during Chinese New Year and other festivals, it was crowded with people. But now, as you can see from this video, some sections have closed down, some have been transferred, and it is eerily silent, without a single person. Just 3 years ago, before the epidemic, this supermarket was booming and even opened several small branches. But now, likely due to the epidemic and changing consumption habits, those branches have started closing. Now, only this big supermarket remains. And it may not last long because there's no foot traffic here at all. The rent must be expensive since the supermarket is very large, with a total of 4 floors, each covering several thousand square meters. Let me show you the current state of Shanghai's real economy. Sisters, this is Qilu Road in Shanghai. It was once difficult to find a shop here, but now no one is interested. Shops across the entire market are being transferred, and there's no rent. You just need to cover the property fee, yet still, no one is renting. The occupancy rate of the entire market does not exceed 10%. Our live broadcast room is on the 2nd floor. I rented a large venue, 100 square meters, for only 20,000 yuan a year. So how can physical stores survive now? Look, it's empty and quiet. Although there are some businesses in this market and a few stores remain open, there are still no customers. The real economy has been squeezed this much. Why? We don't understand. We are busy every day feeling like we are running a business, yet it's like riding a roller coaster, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But look at this situation. There is no one anywhere. The rental market in Beijing has completely collapsed. Renting out a house has become extremely difficult. As a landlord, I have never been so humble. Tenants' attitudes are especially arrogant. In the past, if you didn't like a tenant, you could ask them to move out. But now, if they are unhappy, they simply won't renew the lease. And finding a new tenant is difficult, so you have no choice but to coax and beg them.
In January 2024, a photo taken in Harbin went viral. It captured a woman holding a traditional sugar-coated hawthorn stick in one hand, an ice cream in the other, and beaming at the camera. That woman was none other than Zhao Wei, the actress who skyrocketed to fame as Xiaoyanzi and earned the title of China's female Warren Buffett. Zhao Wei appeared on Forbes China's list 6 times and was ranked among global billionaires in 2018, with an estimated net worth of around $1 billion. At the height of her career, she and her husband made a jaw-dropping $560 million in a single day from stock investments. Their portfolio included 89 historic Xi'an courtyard homes in Beijing, 106 vineyards in France, and a collection of luxury cars and private jets. But then, in 2021, poof, she vanished. No warning, no explanation. Her films were pulled from streaming platforms, her assets were frozen, and state media labeled her a disgraced artist. So what happened? And now, as she suddenly resurfaces, is this the start of a major comeback? Today, we're breaking down the mystery of Zhao Wei, her rise, fall, and everything in between. Born in 1976 in Wuhu, Anhui, Zhao Wei came from a modest family, but her looks and charm set her apart early on. By 1996, she was accepted into the prestigious Beijing Film Academy, where she didn't just get in, she topped the national exams, outshining thousands. In a school filled with beautiful, ambitious actresses, Zhao Wei still stood out. During her second year, the legendary Qiong Yao cast her as Xiaoyanzi in My Fair Princess, a show that became the television sensation of the late 90s. When it aired in 1998, it captured 47% of the audience. For many, summer and winter breaks meant one thing: Zhao Wei as the playful, mischievous Xiaoyanzi on their screens. Just like that, Zhao Wei was everywhere, skyrocketing to fame. Soon, the big screen came calling. Zhao Wei proved her versatility, taking on everything from the quirky, makeup-laden underdog in Stephen Chow's Shaolin Soccer to the romantic lead alongside Chang Chen in Love Story in Shanghai. She wasn't just a TV star, she was a box office queen. But fame has its price. In 2001, a scandal hit when a fashion magazine published a photo of Zhao Wei wearing an outfit resembling the Japanese military flag, causing national outrage. She was branded a traitor, and her career hit rock bottom. For most, this would have been the end, but not for Zhao Wei. She rebounded, thanks in part to her connections with high-profile figures like Ye Qing, the son of a powerful Shanghai real estate mogul, and Wang Yu, one of Beijing's notorious 4 young masters. Despite the scandal, Zhao Wei came back stronger. She starred in blockbuster films like Painted Skin and Red Cliff, collected prestigious awards, and re-established herself as one of China's biggest stars. Then, in 2009, Zhao Wei made the leap from being a star sought after by investors to becoming an investor herself. This transformation began quietly in 2008, when she married businessman Huang Yulong, an important name in her story. Before marrying Zhao Wei, Huang Yulong was virtually unknown. It was only after their wedding that details about him began to surface, labeling him as a wealthy Singaporean businessman. But his path to fortune remained unclear, especially given his poor background. One story claims Huang made his first fortune in the cement business. However, there's a more intriguing rumor. He was once a driver and assistant to former Shenzhen Mayor Xu Zongheng. Xu, the key figure in one of China's biggest corruption scandals, was sentenced to death with reprieve in 2011 for accepting massive bribes. Xu embezzled over 20 billion yuan, about $2.7 billion US, during his tenure. When he was arrested in 2009, most of that money vanished. Word has it that Huang helped Xu launder the money and manage his assets. When Xu fell, part of his fortune became up for grabs. By 2008, Huang, at just 32, had already become a billionaire. That same year, he married Zhao Wei, and in 2010, they welcomed their daughter in Singapore. Zhao Wei's career only flourished after becoming a mother. She stepped into directing, and her debut film, So Young, was a blockbuster, raking in 720 million yuan, about $100 million US. She became the first female director in China to cross 100 million yuan at the box office with her debut. Meanwhile, Zhao Wei and Huang were building a financial empire known as the Longwei Media Network. The couple invested heavily in China's film industry, purchased 4 vineyards in France, and set up dozens of companies in tax havens like Hong Kong, Singapore, the Cayman Islands, and the British Virgin Islands. Investigations revealed Huang had registered 27 companies in Hong Kong alone under names like Yuntu Group and Belt and Road, while Zhao Wei had at least 7 companies in her name. What these companies did, or how profitable they were, remained a mystery. But one thing was clear: the couple's wealth was growing rapidly. By 2018, they appeared on the Hurun Rich list with a combined net worth of $1 billion. Zhao Wei owned at least 8 luxury homes in Hong Kong and Singapore, transforming from a small-town girl into a superstar and billionaire. Often seen with business moguls like Jack Ma, Zhao Wei was involved in high-profile deals and earned the nickname China's female Warren Buffett. However, as their wealth and influence grew, so did public scrutiny, with increasing criticism over how they had amassed their fortune. In 2014, Zhao Wei and her husband made headlines by investing 2.5 billion yuan $350 million USD to acquire a 99.18% stake in Alibaba Pictures, making them the second largest shareholders after Jack Ma. However, months later, Zhao Wei and Huang made a controversial move, twice selling off large chunks of their Alibaba Pictures shares, pocketing at least $230 million US. This move severely damaged Zhao Wei's reputation among investors and worsened public backlash in subsequent years. On April 16th, Sohu reported that Zhao Wei's shares in Hebao Entertainment Group Co. had been frozen. The frozen capital is estimated at 5 million yuan. It is known that the actress is the legal representative and has held 4.51% of the company's shares since 2015. Hebao specializes in producing radio and television programs, managing performing arts, advertising, etc. Zhao Wei's assets have not yet been frozen, but frozen. The above information is quoted from the Tianyanxia Business Information Platform. This freezing order was issued by the Beijing No. 4 Intermediate People's Court, China, and is effective until April 10, 2027. Although this is not the first time Zhao Wei's assets have been frozen, the news broke out before Zhao Wei's plan to return to the entertainment industry in the middle of the year, causing many people to panic. Previously, the media reported that Zhao Wei showed signs of being unfrozen when her image began to reappear on Bilibili, one of the most used video platforms in China. Over the past 3 years, videos featuring Zhao Wei have been removed or had her face covered on this platform. According to Sohu, at the peak of her career, Zhao Wei invested in 17 companies in various fields such as real estate, entertainment, and technology. Among the companies the actress owns and legally represents, only Zhao Zhao Film and Television Culture Company, Shanghai, China, is still operating. Since Zhao Wei's career was frozen in 2021, a series of companies under her name have been dissolved. Sina reported that many artists in showbiz have withdrawn their shares and terminated their investment cooperation with the actress. Zhao Wei and her businessman husband also face many lawsuits for breach of contract after causing market manipulation and debt evasion with partners. According to iFeng, Zhao Wei is currently in court continuously with 500 lawsuits. She has lost to 102 plaintiffs for fraud, compensating nearly $12 million US. Since August 2021, Zhao Wei has been absent from artistic activities in Chinese showbiz. She was erased from the internet for unknown reasons. Faced with news about being banned from broadcasting and under investigation for economic violations, the actress has remained silent.